listen up. Y'all, it's the queen of automation, Megan Donnelly, here to give you inspiration. Founders and business owners gather round. I'ma show you how to build systems that'll astound. Streamline your processes, no need for complicated.
Hey everyone, welcome back to the Queen of Automation podcast, where we talk about why technology is only good when it works and how I help you make it work. So today is going to be a little off topic, or you might think it's off topic, because we're going to be talking about time. Time is the only thing we as humans cannot get back. And systems and automation use time, right? The idea is to give you time back in your life, in your day, in your business. And this episode is for you if you feel like your business is running you instead of you running your business, or in the back of your mind, you should be using some sort of automation. And of course, everyone should be using processes to streamline their business, but you don't even have a clue where to start. Stick around, because those are the two big things that we're going to talk about today and unpack. If you feel like your business is running you instead of you running your business, what does that even mean? It means that you are working 6-7 days a week. You're working all of the time and you're simply exhausted. And basically you have this business, it's making money, you're kicking ass, but you're just exhausted all of the time because your business is running you instead of the other way around. Your business is controlling your time. Your business is controlling basically everything about your life. And you're on your way to rapid burnout really, really quickly. So this is one of the key things that automation and processes can help you with. By automating things on your plate that are repetitive or like very kind of low-level administrative tasks that for some reason you're still doing manually, and maybe you don't even know subconsciously that you're still doing them. By getting rid of and eliminating these with automation, you're eliminating them out of your day, giving yourself more time back. With good automation systems, you can get up to 15 to 20 hours back every single week. And this is just across the board in general. We have emails, like email systems in place that we can help automate emails that you send out at a regular business. I couldn't even tell you the amount of people that tell me they're still sending invoices manually. If you have like a subscription model, or you're billing somebody on a regular basis and you're still sending them a request to pay you manually, that is a huge time suck right there. So there's a lot of things like that people are doing inside their businesses that you don't even think about because you just do them subconsciously. They take up crap tons of time. So let's eliminate that, and let's try to figure out where those things are so that we can automate them or eliminate them if they're not needed. Now, I know everyone thinks this. Everyone knows they should be using systems and processes, right? Everyone knows they should be using some sort of automation to help them streamline their business. But most people tell me they have no clue where to even begin. So let's talk about that for a second, because every single person I talk to, when they get to the point where they think they want to work with us and they think they are ready to start this process down, trying to automate something inside their business, they say, I don't even know where to start. I don't even know what I spend time on. The first thing I tell them is to download a software like RescueTime. There's others out there like Toggle and some others, but RescueTime is my favorite because it downloads direct onto my computer. And I still use this to this day, by the way. So this is me telling you something that I use on a regular basis with my crazy ADHD brain. So what RescueTime does is it downloads on your computer and it tells you every single thing you spend time on. Everything that's in the browser, every system or application that you open on your computer, I have it synced to my phone. So it tells me how long I'm on social media, and not just how long I'm on social media, but how long I'm on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, whatever. Each individual granular piece of software, each individual browser tab that I have open on Chrome, 1, 2, 3, if I have 15 browser tabs, it's going to tell me which tab is open and how long I spent on each individual tab. And then it's going to spit me out a report at the end of the day or the end of the week, depending on. So when I was first starting down this journey, way back when I decided I was going to do this whole entrepreneur thing, I was like, oh my God, I'm a scatterbrain when it comes to all of these systems and tasks and stuff like that. Like, I'm great with technology, but as far as time management, forget it. Are you kidding me? So I downloaded RescueTime, and every week, at the end of every week, I would get a report that told me where I was spending my time, down to the second. And then I would look at this and I would go, holy shit, I'm wasting time here, 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 here. Look at all this crap that I'm doing that is so completely unnecessary. And so by doing this weekly, I started to retrain my brain and form better habits, because I would notice that I'm spending X amount of time on social media when mostly I'm using social media for my business. So I had to retrain my brain how to, if I'm doing content on social media, it has to be for the business, and don't get stuck down into the rabbit hole of, oh, look, my friend's dog is doing this today and it's really funny. Or like I had to kind of retrain my brain and figure out, okay, from 8 a.m. to 6 p.m., this is Business Megan, and I am not going down the rabbit hole of social media unless it is to have a conversation with somebody who I think might need my services, or somebody who's engaging with me who's an influencer or an affiliate who's going to help put my services out into the world. So that was a huge one. I mean, social media is a huge time suck, and you would be amazed at how much time you spend on these things. Email was the other one. So email was my first shocking moment, my first, oh shit, holy crap. The amount of times I was opening my email, the amount of times I was checking my email, and then just, I didn't send that many emails because it was just like it was open, and I was like scrolling through all and it was just ridiculous the amount of time I spent in emails. So that was my first thing. That was the first thing that I tackled when I went through this process, because I didn't even realize the amount of time I was spending in my email. So once I figured that out, the team and I, my small but mighty team, helped me tremendously. So I said, okay, we've got to get me out of my emails. So first, I had Kristen. Kristen is my right-hand person and has been with me for almost 3 years. And so when she first came on board, that was her job. Get Megan out of her emails, right? Like, that was the whole reason I hired her, to help me stay the heck out of my email box, because there was really nothing in there that I absolutely needed to do. And I didn't really need to go into my email unless I knew someone was going to send me an email and I would have to go look for it. So I am not saying completely ignore your email. If you know somebody's sending you an email, obviously you need to go open it, check it, read it, whatever. But the process that we now have in place, because I have then transferred Kristen on to something else, the process that we now have in place is we have a filing system. So it is very much like a project management, Six Sigma type of geekiness filing system, where we have a group of folders and files that go down the left-hand side of my Gmail, and it's business operations, marketing and communications, customers and then vendors, and then I have a swipe file, and I have newsletters, and I have mentors. So I have everything that, or every kind of email category that I actually need or actually use. So like the mentors and my swipe file, those are things that are my inspiration. And those to me are important because most of those people are other people in the business world that I'm networking with, people that I find that do, something really well that I'm learning from. So those are really important to me. The other one is obviously receipts, like, or bills. Like if I have to pay a bill, like those go into one folder. And then any of my clients, all of my client emails they have their own folder name. And so basically what happens now is we file everything into this filing system. I have filters, right? So I use Gmail filters to file everything into each respective folder. And then in the morning, those folders are the only emails I check. The only ones. It takes me about 15 minutes. So I went from 2 to 3 hours a day. In the morning, I spend 15 minutes. I go down each individual folder, check all of the emails that came into those folders, and then I shut my email down for the rest of the day. And I do not open it until 6 p.m. Unless, the caveat there is, unless I know someone is sending me an email or a bill, or like, and there are those exceptions. But I now have two team members that have access to my email. And if anything important comes in, they get flagged. And the reason why? Because they're not crazy. They don't need to check Megan's email. They don't give a shit about what's coming into my email. And they will check it and make sure, throughout the day periodically. Or usually I say once in the morning, once at lunch, and once before they're gone for the day. They check it. They tell me if anything's important. That is it. Because why the heck? They don't care about my email. So they don't check it, which is awesome. And so then I don't check it, which is even more awesome because I've saved myself ridiculous amounts of time to do other important things. So that is one. If you spend ridiculous amounts of time checking your email, which I'm sure you do because it's a statistic that's out there across like Forbes and a bunch of other places, but you should absolutely download a tool like RescueTime to your computer. And at the end of the week, you will be amazed at the crap you are spending time on that is absolutely unnecessary and 100% unnecessary. So now I only look at RescueTime once a month. The goal for me is hopefully to get it down to once a quarter, but I'm kind of a freak, right? Because my brain, because of my ADHD and the fact that I get so distracted and so kind of scatterbrained, I have to keep on top of it, right? Like I have to keep myself on top of it. So once a month I get that report and I go through and it gives you trending data too. So if you're a data nerd, this is super cool because it gives you the trends. Like on the weekends, obviously I spend more time here and this, and it is so very cool and highly recommended. And you don't even have to be the person. So my next goal for this tool is to delegate it to one of my team members, because even that will be something that will be helpful in the sense that my team, even though we're a very small team, right? But my team members are the ones that are doing a lot of these different tasks and a lot of these different things. So they know where they need me. My team is my boss, first of all. So they know where they need me. And so I think it's going to be eventually they're going to be checking those time reports and be like, hey, you didn't do the task that I needed you to do because you were over here spending time doing this. So I can imagine that's going to be a funny conversation, but it's going to be very helpful. So let's talk about meetings for a minute, because that is another huge time suck. And sometimes it's impossible to avoid, right? Like sometimes it's just impossible to avoid meetings. But I'm just referencing the tools that I have and the tools that I use on a regular basis. So when you're using a tool like RescueTime and you see all of the meetings that you have on a daily basis, weekly basis, and monthly basis, that could be your email. Like mine was email, right? I was spending all this stupid time in email and it was dumb. Yours could be meetings, like there are people that spend so much time in meetings that then they have no time to get anything done. So I hope that you're naming all your, like the naming conventions for your meetings are good names. So here's a good quick fix. Coffee chats. And I was actually just talking about this in one of my networking groups today. Coffee chats for so many solopreneurs, entrepreneurs. If you are running your own small business, coffee chats are probably a waste of your time. I'm not going to say all the time. There are absolutely times when you need to just jump on a coffee chat with somebody if you truly feel like they are going to benefit you and your business and your time. Absolutely 100% jump on that coffee chat and talk to those people. But a lot of the time, as you're growing a small business, and if you become a more popular brand and people just want your time, they want to get on the phone with you and they want to pick your brain and they want to do it for free. Well, that is a huge time suck that you don't need to waste your time on, okay? do not allow, if you are a service provider, like I'm a service provider, and if we are providing a service and you're providing a high ticket service where people are paying you quite a bit of money, a premium to get to have you work for them, the people that are just out to pick your brain and want to ask your opinion and want to do, absolutely not. This is one of the reasons we no longer do pitch decks. Our pitch decks are $1,500. And you will get 2 hours of my time, and we will go through everything, and you will get all the stuff. But I'm really limiting the amount of calls that I have for free where people just want to ask me questions, because that's what I do, right? Like, we provide this service that is a premium service to people who pay us a lot of money to tell them how to simplify the operations of their business. So no, I'm very sorry, but no thank you. I'm not going to get on the phone with you and give that information to you for free, especially when all the really awesome people over here are paying for it. So meetings is a big one. Like, if you find yourself going to a lot of meetings, analyze the meetings that you're taking, analyze which meetings are taking up the most time. Obviously, if they are client meetings, 100%, you need those, right? Like, your existing clients are the future of your business. They're going to create referrals. My clients always get meetings whenever they need them. I move stuff around to accommodate my clients because they are paying me ridiculous amounts of money for me to provide them a service, and I will show up whenever they need me to show up, because that is what I do as part of my customer service. Okay, so clients, 100%, they get my time whenever they need it. I will always show up for them. Vendors and partners, like, if you just need to, like, show me a new part, like, if we use a lot of software, obviously, so vendors want to get on the phone with me and tell me about the new features and products. No, that can be an email. Literally send me a Loom video. Just tell me where to find it. You don't need to sell me on the software that I already have. I don't need to get on the phone with you for you to, like, show it to me in person. I would rather just go figure it out myself anyway. Just send me a video, send me an email and say, hey, the main software that we use actually is really great at doing that. Slack is really great at doing that. There's two main softwares that we use. And the CRM that we use, they do that. They send me emails as new features and become live, which is awesome. And then I'm like, oh, yay. And I can check them off, and I spend a day and I'll go looking at the new features, because then I can tell my clients that these are the new features of the system. Slack is the same way. Slack sends me emails all the time about, or, notifications all the time about their new features. And I have those, again, automated right into a folder in my email, and I go check them. And it's very helpful because sometimes I'm waiting for those features. Sometimes I'm not, because we're part of a lot of beta programs. But vendors are, whatever. Partners are another one. So it's usually like family and friends are number one, customers are number two, and then I do partners, and then I do vendors, and then kind of everything else, right? Like, everything else just gets thrown away. Partners are important to me, though, because that's how we run our business. We run our business with partnerships, and we do a lot of networking and partnerships with people where we promote their business and they promote ours. So partnerships are a big one, and I have certain days of the week that I'll take meetings for those. And then obviously the podcast, when we do interviews for the podcast, we have certain days of the week. So that's another one that you should definitely look at when you're looking at your calendar, or when you're looking at these reports of where you spend your time. Meetings is another huge one. That can overload your schedule, and without even knowing it, everyone tells you, like, the coffee chats is the big one. Try to eliminate the conversations that are not going to benefit you, and they're really not going to benefit that person either, because that person is not going to get what they expect out of that call, especially if you're like myself, where you're not going to give that information away for free, and then you're just going to want to book them on another call that's a paid call or something like that. Like, you just need to set expectations with people realistically, so that you're not wasting your time, and you're definitely not wasting theirs. Well, another really kind of big thing that happens in my world, in the world of digital operations and just business operations in general, is over automation. So that is the biggest mistake that I can tell you that happens. So Businesses try to automate everything, right? And then in turn, what happens is they maybe have a really great automation system set up, but it's so over automated that it's impossible to maintain. And especially like I found a lot of people will come to me and they'll have 10 different pieces of software and they're automating through all of it. And then they have no idea when things break and where things break. And so over automating is really, really easy to do because there's pretty much a tool or a software out there that you can use to automate everything. But that doesn't mean you should. You need to create an automation map and you need to create like a flow map, a workflow map of your onboarding process, your sales process, your billing process, the main parts of your business. So that's customer onboarding. That's employee onboarding if you have employees. That's billing, right? So how are you getting paid by your customers? Sales, your sales process. Like, do you have a sales team? How are they contacting your customers? So like all of these different types of process, these exist in every single business, except with the exception of the sales team. Larger companies may have an actual sales team. Maybe you're your only salesperson, but you still have a sales process. You still have a process of how you get customers, how you talk to customers, how you get them on the, you still have that process. I promise you, if you map that out, it will help you understand what you should automate, what you should not automate. And you know what? The biggest mistake that I see is that instead of hiring a person and you're automating everything, oh my gosh, a person is part of operations. My team, and in fact, my team helps so much more than some of than some of the systems that we use, right? Because they're, humans and people bring back the emotion into the operations system, right? So like we have I have two people on my team who they deal with all the customers. Like they're the first line of defense or offense or whatever you want to call it. When customers complain or they have an issue, I wouldn't even say complain. When customers have a question, it goes to my team first. And then if my team can't answer it, which 98% of the time they can, then they ask me, right? So having people, even if it's one person, even if you hire one person and they only work for you 20 hours a week, there are ways to put a person like in your business to help you without it costing a fortune. And I'm telling you right now, that is a huge mistake that people make. They skip over the human and they go straight to automation. And then they just try to automate everything while they continue running it themselves. I'm telling you right now, don't make that mistake. Don't make that jump right from I have nothing and I'm going to go right to automation and I'm going to automate everything. That will not help you because then you also have to manage the software or tools and systems that you're using. And then you're still doing everything that yourself. You might be doing it a little less, but you're still managing everything 100% yourself. And that's not a great plan either. So consider humans in your workflow. Like when you're creating this systems workflow and processes workflow, consider adding human touch and human interactions in there. And it doesn't have to be your human touch, but you should consider adding humans into the mix because that is extremely helpful. And it's still part of operations. Another common question is, okay, great. You've automated this, you've added people, you've done this. Like, how are you measuring? So a lot like measuring time savings, right? And the amount of, how are you measuring it? And usually I use this RescueTime tool and it'll tell you that we're spending less time doing things, right? So the biggest thing is noticing, you can really notice. So like, let's say you do a welcome automation email series for onboarding a customer into your business. And you have a 3-part email series. They meet with you, then they get an email that says welcome, and then they get a next email that says this is how you can contact us. And maybe they get a third email that says if you need, help or visit us on social or something like that, right? Before those touch points were all either phone calls or manual, right? So when you're sending the automated things out and they're saving you time because of the hour, like you can wait You can have waiting steps, like if somebody sends you a payment, after that payment, we wait for 5 or 10 minutes, or we wait for 48 hours, and then we send this, then we send that, and we send this. So it works really great for, like, let's give an example, like coaching business. So we're working with a coach, and she has contracts that she sends out. Now, because she's a leadership coach, she is still very much involved. There's a very large human aspect of her business. But so let's say four coaching calls, right? Like one a month for 4 months or something. I'm just throwing this out there. This isn't necessarily exactly how she does it, but this is the gist. You'll get the gist. So let's say she does 4 coaching calls, 4 months, over 4 months. So 1 coaching call a month. What you can do is, after the 3rd coaching call, you could send an automated email that automates your review process, that says, hey, thanks for, whatever it may be. Like, hey, thanks. I hope you're enjoying their coaching program. I'm really enjoying my time with you. Would you be willing to leave us a review? That kind of thing, right? So that's going to save you time, because generally that stuff is manual. You have to have a physical conversation. You have to get on a phone call that's outside of your normal coaching call. You have to have, or one of your team members does, you have to transcribe the review, or have them write it somewhere and then send it to you, or send the email. Anyway, so there's a lot of manual things that have to happen if you're doing review capture manually. So just by understanding the amount of hours that you are spending on those things that then you automate, you'll see those hours drop off those time reports, right? Like if I'm spending 5 hours doing this, like my emails, for example, that we talked about, my emails now it shows the drop off. Like now it's different because I still will go on after 6 o'clock, but it shows the drop off during the day. Like I said, I literally spent 15 minutes in the morning and then I shut my email down, and it shows you that drop off in the reports, right? Like down, and then up at 6 p.m. when I get back on to check it. So it's really easy to see the time savings and the fact that you just get more time back in your life to do other things. You'll notice that. Like you're going to be like, oh, like you, for some reason, you'll have all these extra hours and you're like, oh, I can do this. I can focus on sales. I can focus on whatever you're going to focus on. I can go out to lunch with my friends. Like, you can do different things, but you'll start to notice those hours come back. But for me, because I'm such a numbers person, that's why I have that tool that tells me, because it'll tell me where I'm saving time. It'll show me where I'm saving time on a report. And sometimes it's not even necessarily like that you're physically saving time, but like I said, with the emails, it's allocating it differently, because I'm not wasting the time during the day. I'm getting more task work for my customers done, which means that I'm actually getting more accomplished in less time, because I'm not spending time wasting on the emails. Okay. So I hope that today's discussion was helpful, because again, time is the only thing that we can't get back. And my goal is to give as many entrepreneurs and small business owners back as much time as possible. Thanks, everybody. And remember, technology is only good when it works. We will see you next week.